we're going to do a little bit of a podcast with everyone here. So we have an important topic that we wanted to discuss, and that's how COVID-19 has affected our business, how it has affected everyone else in the industry, and what we've learned from it, what we can do better in the future when something like this comes along, and maybe some of the things that you can incorporate into your business, to consider for you to consider next time when some crisis comes along. So stick around, stick with us, and hopefully we both can all learn something from each other. Hello, YouTubers. Thank you for joining us again. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different format today. It's more like a podcast. I've got two visitors here. Meet Billy. Billy, wave for us.
Hi, guys.
Billy's my operations manager, and Danny. Danny.
Hey, guys.
So Danny's my sales manager. So we're going to talk about an important topic to us, and I think something that's affected all of us at this stage, which is COVID-19 and how COVID has affected our business and the industry as a whole. So I hope you stick around and stay with us, and hopefully we can all learn something together. So fellas, how's COVID-19? How has it affected you and your team and your processes? Has there been an impact, or has there not been? Billy, do you want to tell us how it's been for you?
Yeah, so COVID-19, it definitely has affected us, especially my team. I also look after the operations, so the whole office running I look after. The government has imposed certain restrictions and office processes that we have to follow in order to keep ourselves opened. Such things such as keeping the whole office sanitizing.
You mean the whole shutdown, Billy? How everything had to be shut down? That's the regulation you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about how
we did have to shut down, right?
Yes, we had to shut down for a brief amount of time. Yes, during the peak of the pandemic. So we had to be able to get everyone to continue to work, however. So that was a whole massive process there. We had to make sure that all computers are accounted for, everyone's assets are accounted for and ready to be shipped and delivered to their home.
Yeah.
So they can work from home.
So that was a big headache. Another added layer of complexity, right? So not only do you have to worry about getting the work done, but now here's an extra layer of concern that we have in order to protect and make sure that all of the equipments that we had purchased, it is continued to be used and to be used in a safe manner, because it's not going to be the same when you work with the asset in the office compared to allowing employees to take it home and start working with it.
That's correct. Everything has to be accounted for. And then the IT infrastructure, that's another important part as well. I believe your team, Rick, had to make sure that everything is working smoothly while at a different environment, not in the office environment, it's a home environment.
That's right. So luckily, I actually prepared my team a lot earlier. We made sure that we set up VPN servers for instances like this, and I'm still counting my lucky stars that I actually went through all that exercise and made the team go through and start practicing and start implementing all of these things ahead of time. So when COVID came, we weren't that concerned because we already had all the plans in place. But that's one of the areas that a lot of our audience and a lot of our new business owners out there can learn from, which is you never know what's going to happen. The only thing that you can do is prepare for it ahead of time. and always think of the worst case scenario. And I think this COVID-19 events here has really shown to be pretty much close to that, the worst case scenario, right? Where, the whole economy shut down, you can't even get into the office, you can't even do any work, but you're still required to pay all those bills. The revenue side and the sales side's taken a big hit, but the expense and operational side still has to continue. So I feel I understand what everyone's feeling. I understand what everyone's going through. But the only thing that we can do is plan for it ahead of time and always think worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario? And what can I do to protect my business? And what can I do to plan for it ahead of time? Danny, what about you, Danny?
Oh yes, so of course.
How's it impact you?
Well, I think one thing that COVID obviously taught everyone and showed everyone was that there's a lot of uncertainties out there. I think one of the uncertainties is job security. If you were thinking that your job was fully secured, well, I think COVID kind of showed us that nothing in life is an absolute certainty. Sales, revenue, income in that aspect, obviously from my team, we were still prospecting. We were still trying to go out there and generate the revenue, and the uncertainties and the feedback that I got from the market was that a lot of people was just really frightened, wasn't sure what to do and what to do with their business. But not only that, not even too sure what to do with normal living day-to-day activities. And so a lot of people were frightened, and there was a lot of fear, unprecedented times. Could really feel that over the phones and having the meetings with them, especially during the major shutdown when it first started. Like, I would say between April, May, June, when it was really peaking, with all the cases. Nobody was giving us an opportunity to even speak. Everyone was just, no, I'm not doing anything because of COVID. I'm not doing anything because of COVID. Hang up. Not doing anything because of COVID.
So you couldn't make any sale at all, right?
I couldn't even get the foot in the door, right? I couldn't even get anything.
Don't worry about sale. Can't even get in the door.
Not let alone a sale.
I can't even speak to someone.
I can't even speak to someone, right? Because there were
half
of them, because of COVID, and a lot of them actually went out of business. A lot of them just went out of business. If you speak to them, they're like, well, look, we're going to be closing up shop soon, so there's no point speaking to us now. So I got that a lot from both the market in Australia and in the US, but more so to be honest in the US. In the US, a lot of our current clients, a lot of the new clients were shutting shop. So that did put a big spanner into my targets and into my prospecting activities.
Yeah, so like every business, I think our business took a hit as well. We lost a few clients because our clients just couldn't afford to pay our bills anymore. They couldn't afford to pay our invoices anymore because COVID hit, their business affected. If their business affected, well, they can't pay their bills, and we had to struggle and to be able to pay our bills. And that's what happens in the economy. If one goes down, everyone else goes down. It shows how interconnected we all are. How else has it affected your operations, Danny?
I guess in terms of the client service point of view as well, the way that we manage with our current clients. I'm not sure if you remember, but the way that we were actually pricing our model, there was massive fluctuations in the currency rates. So obviously we charge a specific currency rate, then obviously you do the conversion, and during that time it actually made our pricing and our model way more expensive than what it's supposed to be. The other thing as well, in Australia, the government decided to release JobKeeper. And because we're in a business, because I was obviously trying to offer the services of employment and virtual assistants and having virtual staff, a lot of my potentials, a lot of my prospects were going down the route of rather just going have a job keeper because it was actually an incentive from the government rather than having to fork out the expense of having a virtual employee. So that was a lot of the objections I was getting as well over the phone. A lot of objections I was getting overall as well. So that was another factor as well. I remember at one stage, I think the American or the Australian dollar went down to like nearly 0.6 or point high fives.
So what you're saying, to put this into perspective for a lot of our viewers is that we're mainly based in Australia, but we also service American clients, so our US clients, and a lot of the our pricing, in order to make the pricing stay in parity with one another, we had to charge in US dollars. So our fees are in US dollars, but for our Australian clients, they also have to pay in US dollars. And at that time during COVID, the Australian dollar just fully tanked. So what used to be, for example, like, $10 is now $16, $17 for them. So the pricing just completely like shot through the roof. I mean, the cost shot through the roof. And the other thing that Danny was mentioning was that the government was assisting a lot of these business. But in order to get the assistance, you had incentive to work within the Australian system and not look at any international solutions. So that's where our business took a hit as well, because of these subsidies, or because of these government assistance. The government stepping in, and we completely understand, and we think it's a great thing that the government had done. It's just that our business is trying to provide like a global solution from the Seritel solution side of things. That just didn't work during that period of time. And that was one of the things that we didn't consider, as one of the things that we didn't see, and we didn't know that that's how it would affect our business. So that's an additional point that we will learn going forward into the future, that these things can happen again, and we need to make sure that maybe our cash flow, we have enough cash flow to sustain us for a bit longer, and that maybe, a lot of these investment decisions, a lot of these operational decisions would be postponed because of some of these government subsidies and government's programs. So that's what Danny's talking about.
Well, of course, Rick. I'm very patriotic about our country. I was born in Australia, live in Australia, probably die in Australia as well. So I believe in keeping a lot of jobs in Australia, and I totally agree and all for it with the government was doing. But I do understand at the end of the day, like, businesses were trying to stay afloat and ultimately trying to be profitable.
Yeah. Okay. So Billy, what do you think you've learned from this exercise for your business, and what do you think you'll be doing differently in the future?
Definitely planning ahead and planning for the worst. That's one thing that's been highlighted the most in here. You never know when a crisis may hit. Things can be smooth sailing for years, and then out of nowhere, a crisis like this hits you, and you're not unprepared. You can be wiped out instantly. So planning and
But to be fair, our business wasn't that much affected compared to others that we know, because we also run an accounting firm.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
we have clients in the restaurant hospitality industry, and they were completely wiped out. So I feel really bad for them. Like restaurants, bars, and cafes, when there's no social,
mostly, entertaining and services area, those areas.
Events.
Yeah, a lot of events, and that completely wiped out. So we're still counting our lucky stars. We were hit, but we weren't hit that bad compared to others. And
but like for our accounting side, we were actually more busy during the pandemic.
Yeah.
We're actually more busy because all our clients were reaching out to us and asking us for help regarding all the government incentives and subsidies. So we were busy, very busy during that time. trying to communicate everything with our clients, letting them know that we're looking after them, informing them about what they're available and entitled to with the government, and really just holding their hands through these tough times.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm.
Yeah, I do remember that. So because of the government incentives and subsidies, all these clients need to find out whether or not they actually meet the criteria to be able to have it available to them. And so that's what they reached out to us for during that period. What else did you learn, Billy? Was that it?
I think
How's the planning? Like when you say that you realized that planning was important, what sort of plans did you have in mind that you want to work on in the future?
what's the plan is, for example, thinking about what other possible crises can happen, and are we safe from that anyway? Be it, let's say, natural disasters, earthquake, floods. Do we have insurance covered? Do we have, is there backup offers? Do we have another way to continue operating if something happens like that? So it's really about thinking about what other scenarios can happen and what do we have in place to safeguard, or any plans in that case.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we checked our insurance policies at that time, right? I think a lot of a lot of our clients, even ourselves, sometimes we take it for granted. We have insurance, and then when the time comes, like, oh my God, do our insurance policies cover all these other areas? So sometimes these events also act as a wake up call for a lot of us, certainly for us. But even though we did have some plans in place, but we're not perfect, and there are always still things that we can work on. Billy, I mean, Danny, what about you? Like, any other plans that you will have in the future?
Well, I can tell you one of the lessons that I've learned through the COVID as well is the way that we were handling some of our accounting clients. That comes back to diversifying your business portfolio as well, right? Because we don't have just one business, but we have two businesses working hand in hand with each other. We were able to ride through the wave and being there as a point of contact, as a point of support for small to medium-sized businesses, being grateful for being able to assist them and help them sort of survive through that crisis as well. So that made me feel grateful for being in the position of being able to assist small business owners. I guess moving forward, planning, you gotta diversify. You gotta diversify your strategy. You gotta diversify your portfolio. Never stick to one sort of way of doing things. Nothing's ever gonna last forever. For example, if you were maybe prospecting, maybe you can start doing online. There's got to be like online, strategies out there. Okay, and just diversifying, because you never know what can happen. You just got to sort of prepare for the worst, like you said, Rick. Prepare for the worst. Aim for the best, right? But always prepare for the worst. Keep in mind that anything like this can happen. And you've said this before as well, Rick. I remember history does repeat itself. History can repeat itself according to disasters and things in the past. History tends to repeat itself.
It always does, and the only thing you can do is prepare for it.
Yeah.
And you can learn from one event into the other. I think the other thing that we learned in terms of the sales side is that we can't rely on like you said, in particular, diversifying. What you really mean by that is that you can't always rely on a certain process. For example, one of the processes that we heavily rely on is the face-to-face interaction. That is a key component of our sales process because we're delivering our service. Our business is about human interaction. It's about services, providing advice and consultation to our business owners or our clients. And therefore the sales process was closely aligned with that sort of philosophy. And during COVID, we that key component was removed from our sales process. So that really changed how new prospects see us when we try to approach them. So one of the things that we had to try and do was explore other ways to connect with the market. And we started to heavily invest more in social media, heavily invest more in the virtual space, because
online conferencing, online presentation, online conferencing as well,
like finding ways to streamline the conferencing and having meetings with our clients and our prospects. So that really kind of changed how we operated, right, Danny?
Of course.
So from that, I hope some of our audience will take and see that as we experience these things, we had to make changes. We had to adjust, and change and adjust should be a normal thing. Okay, and I encourage you that if something doesn't work, it doesn't work for you, and if you had to change it, it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad business owner. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. A lot of businesses is built on the premises of just learning from their mistakes. Okay, and if your process is not right and it doesn't work, don't be afraid to change it. As you see and hear from what we've done, we had to change and we had to adjust a lot of the things that we did. And we incorporate a lot of these learnings into our process and into the future. And that is a normal part of running a business. And it's okay to do that. When I was working back in the bank in JP Morgan, change and the acceptance of change was so ingrained in the organization that they even built a whole team called the change management team, where the team, all they do every day of the week is to help the business change itself, help the organization change itself. That's all they did. And they were paid top dollars. They were paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just to help the organizations, change itself. So you can also go into that area if that area interests you. It is a role. It is a professional role out there. Change management. Can you believe that? If companies out there have a whole team to take care of change, a whole team to implement change, a whole team to to make sure that the company and the organization changes properly, then the least that us small business can do is accept that that's part of life and accept that that is normal and that we just incorporate that into our business practices, and changing is okay. Okay, so I hope our viewers out there would also, take that perspective as well. Cool. So on a good note, I think we are getting out of this now. Vaccines are coming out. Have you guys taken your vaccine shot yet? Yeah, Danny, Billy?
Not even sure. Is it available yet, Billy?
I don't think so. I don't know. We're still waiting for our turn, I believe.
Yeah, still waiting for our turn. I think there's specific industries that gets first line. I think all the healthcare workers gets like the front line of instead of vaccines, but nothing from our end yet. No.
Oh, okay. Same here. If the viewers don't know, Billy and Danny is actually located in Australia, whereas I'm stuck in the Philippines right now. So in the Philippines, the vaccine's also currently being rolled out to frontline health workers and not to the general public yet. We'll be looking to get that around May. So hopefully in the next couple of months we all be vaccinated and we'll all be kind of safe from this virus, this really devastating virus. Hope you guys stay safe. I think the Americans are starting to pull out of this. I'm really glad. I'm glad because that's a big market for us. They are almost like they almost have enough vaccines to vaccinate the whole entire country, which is amazing if you think about it. And I guess that's why one of the reasons why they're like, you know, they're the best in terms of, you know, utilizing their resources. Best organization and businesses are built in America, and it's something that we all can learn from. So, you know, all the best to everyone out there. Wish you great and healthy. You stay healthy with you and your family. Stay safe, guys. Any last words for our audience and viewers?
Just stay safe. Take care of your family. I think what COVID has also taught us, or also provided us, was a lot of family time. So make sure you appreciate your loved ones and take care of them.
That's all from me. See you guys.
All right,
Hope to
thanks,
talk to you
guys.
next time.
We'll wrap it up there. Take care.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Danny, you want to do the last line about subscribing stuff?
Okay, while I'm here. Also, one last thing, guys. Please remember to subscribe and like our page for further videos and further updates. And we'll keep you posted.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. Bye.